In this video, we will cover useful Excel functions, Lecture 2, Vlookup and Hlookup. The Vlookup function is used to look up a value in one column of a table utilizing information from another column of the table. The formula is given as equals Vlookup, lookup value, comma, table array, comma, call index num, comma, range lookup. The lookup value is the value that you want to look up in a column of a table. The table array is the table location in the workbook. The call index num is the column number in the table that you want to return a value for. The range lookup field can be either true or false, where true is the default value. If it is true, the formula will search for the closest value in the column. If it is false, it will search for an exact match. As an example, suppose you have a table with two columns. Column 1 contains the name of each continent. Column 2 contains the approximate population of each continent. You want to find the population that corresponds to Asia from the table. So we would type equals Vlookup, then type in the value we are interested in, or Asia, with quotes around it because it's text. Then we select the location of the table that we want to use, or A1 to B7. We want to return the population, so we want the column index number to be 2, the second column. We also want to match the word Asia exactly, so we type false to have an exact match. So the formula would return 4.157 billion. The Hlookup function is used to look up a value in one row of a table utilizing information from another row of the table. The formula is given as equals Hlookup, lookup value, comma, table array, comma, row index num, comma, range lookup. The lookup value is the value that you want to look up in a row of a table. The table array is the table location in the workbook. The row index number is the row number in the table that you want to return a value for. And finally, the range lookup field can either be true or false, where true is the default value. If it is true, the formula will again search for the closest value in the column. If it is false, it will search for an exact match. As an example, suppose you have a table with two rows. Row 1 contains the name of each continent. Row 2 contains the size or approximate size of each continent in square miles. You want to find the size that corresponds to Australia from the table. So we would type in equals Hlookup, then type in the value we are interested in, or Australia, with quotes around it again because we are interested in a text value. Then we select the location of the table that we want to use, or A1 to G2. We want to return the size, so we want the row index num to be 2, the second row. We also want to match the word Australia exactly, so we type false to have an exact match. Now we will cover an Excel example to illustrate these functions. So assume we have the following Excel spreadsheet. In column A, we have the item number. In column B, the units sold. In column C, the price per unit. And in column D, the total sales. And we want to generate a mini sales report that deals with item 15, 125, and item 145. And we want to find the sales from this table. So we can use the Vlookup function to look up the sales that correspond to each item. So here we have our item values. So we'll want to type in the formula equals Vlookup. Then we want to look up the item number here, 15, in our table from A1 to D6. And we'll fix that location by pressing F4. We want to return column 4, or column D, the sales. And we want it to be an exact match, so we'll type false. So we get 1500 corresponding to item 15, which is correct. So now we'll drag this formula down by selecting in the corner and then just dragging down, and we'll resize the column. So item 125 returns 18,000, which corresponds to the correct value in the table, and item 145, 9,280, which again is correct. So now assume that instead of having the data organized by column, it's organized by row. Row 1 contains the item number, row 2 contains the units sold, row 3 contains the price per unit, and row 4 contains the sales. And once again, we want to generate a sales report for item 15, 125, and 145. So, to get the sales that correspond to item 15, we'll type equals hlookup. We will select the item 15, and then we'll select the table that we want to look it up in. So we'll select B1 to F4. Then we'll hit F4 to lock those values in place. Now the sales is contained in row 4, so we want row 4. And we want an exact match, so we'll type false. So now you can see for item 15, we have total sales of 1,500. Dragging this formula down, we'll get the other two values. For item 125, we have 18,000, and for item 145, we have 9,280.